Hello, everyone, and welcome to demo number 8. It's great to have you all back with us, and it's, well, hopefully we've all had a nice summer, or at least as nice a summer as we can in these very strange circumstances, and I hope it's been a safe and relaxing one for everyone. Just to introduce me, I'm Nick Eversett. I'm one of the hosts of Canopy Southwest. I'm a marketer by trade, and I work with startups and SMEs. And with me today is my co-host, Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and tonight. My name is Sylvia. I'm from Portugal, from Leiria. I'm currently an MBA student, a finalist, and also I'm a member of the Canopy community since 2016. I would like to welcome all of you to know and meet our guests. And today we have a great line for you. This month we are joining forces with the Plymouth College of Art, who are part of an international entrepreneurial scheme called the Atlantic Youth Creative Hubs. And we will have demos from the UK, France, and Portugal. Our interview this month will be with Pablo Castro, sorry, Pablo, who is one of the coordinators of the program, and he will tell us more about the Atlantic Youth Creative Hub, And also we have 4 demo nights after this interview. We will introduce Fernanda, Jack, Hughes, and Camille. And now you, Nick.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I just wanted to do a quick shout out actually to Eva Stanislava, who is one of the coordinators at Plymouth College of Art, and she did an awful lot of the heavy lifting and getting everybody together. So just a big shout out to her. Thank you. And I think she's listening, so I hope she can hear us. So, and just before we get started, I just want to let you know that if you like what Canopy does, why don't become a member of our community, or the tribe as we like to call it. So it's just 12 euros a year, and it goes to help us pay for things that need to be paid for. Everybody does this for free, but there's a few things that need to be paid for and stuff for cost of running on and hopefully at some point offline result. So if you're interested, I think we'll post the link in the chat, and if you click and find out more. So off we go.
Hi, Pablo.
Hello.
I welcome you today, and I would love to ask you to introduce yourself to this community and explain a little bit what you do as a coordinator.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you for the opportunity of, inviting myself and other members of the AYCH project. Well, as Nick and Sylvia said, my name is Pablo, and I am one of the coordinators of the hub that the Atlantic Youth Creative Hubs project for Inter-Atlantic area has in Lugo, in the north of Spain. And I am also in charge of the chair of communication of the project. The AYCH project is a project formed by 11 partners in 4 countries, which are the United Kingdom, Portugal, France, and Spain, and is aimed at developing the entrepreneurial skills of young people among those countries of the European Union.
Very good. Thank you for this little introduction. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions, and also I ask the audience to ask questions if they are relevant. Why was the Atlantic Youth Creative House set up?
Yeah, the project started in 2018 and is going to end March by next year. It has been a bit difficult to start with the project because, it's quite an ambitious project, because the idea that we are working with is to improve the different set of abilities, skills, trainings that young people could have access to by free. And it's also, as I said, quite ambitious, because one of the most interesting parts that the project brings to young people is the possibility of developing an idea through an incubation process. Okay, they have up to 9 months with one of the experts that we have in the project one of the 11 hubs that we have for developing an idea by free. And through that incubation process, they have also the possibility of doing a residency or an internship abroad in the different hubs that the project has. So it's quite interesting regarding that. And we also have the creative jams, which are events of 2 or 3 days of duration, in which young people, experts, and partners of the project from the different countries and hubs gather together in the same place. And they develop different prototypes, they attend to formations, they also have the possibility of sharing different points of view. So it's quite an ambitious and interesting project.
Okay, thank you. And what are the main keys for this project? When people reach you, what are the main keys you try to persuade people that would like to join your project?
I mean, till now we have had more than 200 young people engaged in the project. Wow. Since we started in 2018. And I think that the more attractive features that the project have is the non-formal education in which we are based. We have developed, with the help of some of the young people that have been involved in the project, different tools like the Brain Mirror, which is a board game for enhance the ability of resolving conflicts and working in teams, and also the transnationally point that the project has. I think that they are the more attractive, the more eye-catching weapons we could say that the project has in the aspect of attracting young people for working with us.
Okay, thank you. And who are the key partners in the different countries, like private companies, public authorities, universities? What are the main ones, please?
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 private companies in the project, which is something quite interesting because it's the first time that Interreg allows private companies in projects. We also have 2 universities or higher education centers. We also have a social association, and the other members of the partnership are public administrations. This is quite interesting because it brings the project different points of view and possibilities regarding the kind of partner we have.
Okay, thank you. And what are the greatest success of the program that you achieved so far?
Yeah, I mean, if I would have to say to highlight 2 outcomes of the project, I would go for the different young people that we have in the different hubs and countries of the project that have been able to start their own job or start working in interesting places thanks to the project. We have people that have started their own business, people that are now working in a good position at embassies abroad. And I also feel quite proud of the figure of the AYCH ambassadors, which are young people that wanted to move one step forward and to be an active part of the project. So they are people that have been working with us since the beginning. They have attended, for example, workshops or events. Some of them have developed an incubation process, and they are working with us in the developing of the communication, the way they want to interact with companies. So it's interesting because it's something that it's good for them because we listen to them, the needs they have, and also it's a valuable experience for them because they are involved in a European project since the inside.
Okay, thank you, Pablo. We have a question from the audience, and it says someone doesn't have the name. Is it true that this is one of the best projects that Interreg has ever seen?
Well, I don't know if it is one of the best. I would say that yes, but if someone asks, I didn't say that. But it's true that many times when we are in different events across Europe, it's true that many times we are the most known project of Interreg Atlantic area, both inside the Atlantic area and outside. So well, I think that we are doing something good, and that's the reason why we are so famous. I mean, actually, I think that the reason for that, for that fame that we have, is that we listen to what young people want and need, and we do our best for reaching that. Yeah.
So about this pandemic times, how you managed to work across these different countries, and I mean as a team,
I mean,
how you developed
yeah,
different strategies.
Yeah, I mean it has been quite difficult because we are 11 partners for different countries. It was a pity because when everything started, we were supposed to have an international creative jam in Santo Tirso in Portugal, gathering more than 100 people. Actually, the event has been postponed. It's going to take place in theory in November this year. And it also has been difficult because we were going to start this year the residencies, which are some kind of activity in which we send and receive young people from other hubs of the project, allowing them to learn in a total different ambience. The good thing is that we were able to adapt the project more or less using online tools, like for example the Zoom platform. So some activities like the incubation process could be done thanks to that. We modified the physical incubation to an online one, and more or less we are still working thanks to technology. But I mean, I think that it would be better to have the situation normal as soon as possible.
And what kind of young people that come to you? What are the skills and the talents they own? What are the main skilled people that join you?
Yeah, we have people from 14 till 30 years old. And actually, as a partnership, we have a great variety of skills in that sense. Because I mean, we have people from university level, people that has not anything else than the mandatory studies. Actually, we have no requirements for people for joining the project. So that's good because we could work in a wide way with them.
And so just to last question, I guess we have Fernanda to join us for the demo. The last question for you, Pablo, is what are the areas that you would like to ask this young generation to follow, the areas of interest for the future of work, the future of entrepreneurial programs?
Yeah, I mean, the path that the project is following regarding the educational aspect has a strong social point. Mm-hmm. And actually now most of the activities that we are developing with the non-formal education that we have in the project are based on how would you improve life after COVID-19. Mm-hmm. So I think that, okay, you could be successful in fields like, for example, marketing or business planning, arts, but it's key for the future of the earth that young people have an important feeling of social and the importance of working in society.
So it's all about being aligned with the human and planet values. Yeah, thank you so much, Pablo, for being with us. And I'm going to pass to Nick to introduce Fernanda. Thank you, Pablo.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please stay with us. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hello, welcome, Nanda. How are you? All right.
Okay.
Good to have you. Just before I get you going, I just want to remind everybody about how it all works on demo night. If you haven't been before, each demo gets 10 minutes, of which 5 minutes is the demo participant telling us about their business, and the other 5 minutes is me or Siva, and hopefully you asking them some questions to find out a little bit more. So before I get you to start, Nanda, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself before you kind of jump into your
Yeah, okay. Hi. First of all, sorry about the black and white thing. I really didn't know what happened here, but it's okay. I'm here. My name is Fernanda Vartman. Everybody calls me Nanda. I'm a fashion designer based here in Porto, Portugal. I was born in Brazil, but I live here in Portugal for about 4 years from now. I studied fashion in fashion design management in 2016. And after my graduation, I worked in some studios, fashion studios. And then in 2018, I came to Porto. And since then, I am working by my own. So I'm here to present my idea, my project I've been working on since the beginning of 2019. And that's it. I'm going to present it.
Fernanda, can you reduce the audio because it's very loud a little bit.
Okay.
So for the audience to be able to listen and us.
How can I do this?
Just reduce a little bit. It's a bit loud. Sorry, Nick.
No, it's good. No, thank you.
Is it better?
Can you say something?
Is it better now?
Just a little bit more, probably.
It's a little bit echoey. That's all.
Yes.
Just trying to improve the sound experience if we can.
Now, is it better?
That is a bit better.
If you can reduce a little bit more. So far we can listen you.
Okay, nice. So I'm going to share with you the presentation that I have here. Is this one? Is that okay? Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So this is my brand. It's called Stereo. And this is me. I created it, the name and everything. So the idea is a woman's fashion brand that through an e-commerce website. Just a little quick reminder here. I don't have the website yet, so I'm just sharing my project through social media, Instagram and Facebook from now. So the idea is to sell fashion garments with interactive collections. So the user can build its own garment. So I have some options from sleeves and bodies and everything, and you can build your own clothing. So why did I start with this idea? Mainly for sustainable reasons. So I just produce from demand, just from I asked, and it's totally against fast fashion. So all I do is by myself. It's handmade, manual, and the fabrics that I use, they are provided from dead stocks from national here, all made in Portugal. So this way I improve the local commerce too. Here are some examples. It's the same body with different sleeves and different colors. You can build your own way. Here also, it's mostly casual fashion. Here, the same body and different sleeves and different color. I created this mainly for the interaction of and possibility to the customer to co-create with the designer. So I think this is kind of trendy right now. People like to have personality and customized things, and it's democratic. Also, you can send me all your sizes and everything, and it's kind of tailor-made, but I don't know how can I explain it, but it's not like tailor. You go to the tailor and do. It's like a brand that do tailor-made thing. Tailor-made thing. These are values. The brand has sustainable basis, beginning with the raw material of pieces, as well as local production, as I said before, and on demand. So I reduce textile waste and fast disposal of fashion pieces. And our design, production, and selling women's fashion pieces with the direct interaction with the customer is the creation of the pieces.
Okay.
Constant evolution. So all of my projections is loyalty of the Portuguese market. The brand is just starting now. I'm going to turn it public now. I'm kind of excited to see what's the feedback from the people. Until now, it's everything okay. Everybody's liking. Here are my contacts. And my objective here tonight is to present my idea and have feedback to know what you think about it, what I can improve, possibility to find someone who is willing to do a partnership and everything. I don't know what you're doing. And this is my project. I hope you like it.
Cool, thank you. Okay, I'll just leave that just a second more, and then I'll just pop that back onto us. There we go. Yeah, well, thank you very much for that. So you said you're kind of looking for a few different things, really, getting a bit of exposure, getting, I guess, getting people a bit of feedback on your idea, really. Is that what you like? So that would be great if anybody's got any thoughts or comments, constructive comments, you could see them either as a chat. Oh, I've got a question here, actually. So let's see. Got a question from Prabha. It says, have you looked at existing sustainable fashion initiatives, e.g. ones championed by Ellen MacArthur or Business of Fashion? I don't know whether you've come across either of those ideas yet.
Okay, how can I do mostly, I almost reduced to zero of my waste, my textile waste. I focused on this concept. So the fabrics that I acquire are they are going to trash, basically. They are good quality, but they are out of collection and everything. So I use everything from the fabric. I use even the fabric that was going to the waste that I'm going to turn into a garment. I use all the little pieces, even to do some hair things or all the details. I can sell like fashion brand too, in a fashion brand. And also the fabrics, the industry that the fabrics, they are also sustainable in the making of the fabric. So they are all certified with cotton organic and all this stuff. So I have all this care with the production.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So someone's Eva's asked, what are those mannequins behind you? What are hiding?
They are here. I have some pieces here to show. I'm so sorry they are not colorful for you because they are really colorful. They're like pink and coral here. And this is the example that I showed there. These are blouse here in the back. These are the same sleeves, but with different bodies. It's so you can mix the options and build your own. Something, a clothing with your personality. You can do it.
Thank you. Pedro's asked, how do your prices compare with, say, average clothes that people get in a sort of ordinary store or online?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it was something that I was struggling in the beginning, because I didn't want to do some very expensive things like designer clothing and exclusive things, and also didn't want to turn it like a fast fashion. So I found also with the fabrics that are cheaper because they are going to the waste. So I could reduce the prices and turn it to like a price tag, like turning to 50 euros per piece, and they're tailor-made. So it's cheaper than what it would be in a tailor exclusive, but they are also more expensive than a fast fashion, like Zara or Pull&Bear or everything. Yeah.
So do you want to scale your business? I mean, how big do you want to grow?
Yeah, I have target to grow until some limit, but not so much, because I don't want to lose the concept of the idea to go against fast fashion. So even when it will be big, it will not be so big, because then I will go to mass production, and it's not my idea. And from now, it's just me. I do everything, the design, the cutting, the making, the production, everything. And when it's going to grow a little more, I'm going to hire some sous. I don't know how can I find some producers from here, and they are going to help me. And also this way, I'm going to put some movement in the market, here in the local market.
So does the approach you're taking is it more complicated or take longer to produce a garment?
No, I achieved some time reducing also with my production. I already have all the models done, so when I have an order, I can do everything just in a quicker way, and I don't waste so much time and do like 20 pieces by day. For me, it's good for now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to just tell us before we kind of sign off?
No, it's okay. I'm here to present my brand, and I do all by myself. So if you want something to add to help me to do a partnership, because my formation, my graduation is in fashion design, so I don't know anything about marketing or selling products. It's something that I struggle a little bit. So if you could help me with some tips, something, I'm open to it. Yes.
There are definitely people around who've definitely got those skills. I know that for certain in the chat. So yeah, hopefully, if someone wants to get hold of you, what's the best way to get hold of you, Nanda?
Good.
Okay. So you've shared Nanda's details, haven't you?
Yes, and I'm gonna put again.
Lovely. Okay, thank you, Nanda. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, now I'm going to hand over to Sylvia, who's going to talk to Jack about his project.
So, hi, Jack. Jack Rogers. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I want to thank you to join us tonight. I would like you to introduce yourself and your project.
Yeah, of course. Right, so I'm slightly nervous. I haven't done anything like this before, so I'll just do as best as I can. So yeah, guys, my name is Jack. I'm a student at Plymouth College of Art. I've just finished my honours degree, and I'm just about to start my master's degree in disruptive design. And my project for the last 2 years, and this project that we're continuing on is all about making or coming up with a business concept for a ethical and sustainable drone business, which drops medical supplies to remote parts of the world. So,
thank you. Would you like to present us?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Right. Yeah. So the introduction to my business concept is my business name is called A2B. A2B is a medical company that is a logistical company specializing in dropping medical supplies. It's been the backbone of 2 years of research, and so far I'm working with two major partners purely on the basis of research. One's called Teamed, which is a UK-based medical company. And the second one is Leonardo Defense Systems, which is a major defense company based in the UK and all over the world. And basically, they've been helping me to sort of come up with a brand new sort of drone that's sort of can rival other world drone companies out there at the moment. Basically, the drone is a biomimicry-based project. So we're looking at studying birds and how they fly. For more efficient ways to design things like, for example, wings, wing profiles, the fuselage. And so far, I've come up with a concept, and we're starting to prototype. I am on my own, so I'm literally responsible for everything. I'm responsible for prototyping. I'm responsible for branding. I'm responsible for every sort of part of my business. So trying to get off the ground is sort of a struggle, and I'm sure some people can relate to that. Mm-hmm. But it's just one of those things. So the biggest reason that I've come up with this project is researching technology businesses for just general research, and I came across a company called Zipline. Zipline, some people may have heard of. They're a big company based in America. They are the biggest drone company at the moment, and the reason that they're so exciting to look at and exciting to follow is because they were a complete startup. They didn't have big funding from like companies like Amazon and Google. They started off small, and now they operate in 3 countries. They've actually dropped 200,000 individual drone deliveries. And they haven't just dropped anything from blood, they've dropped everything from plasma. With COVID, they've actually dropped vaccines. They've done blood testings. They've actually treated someone for a snake bite, which is quite interesting. So they've actually dropped an anti-venom for that. And I was so excited by reading all this and understanding the business. I wanted to come up with a rival. And I think a rival like this would be, and competition would actually be healthy instead of, for some businesses, rivals can damage profit, where in fact actually a rival can be good. It innovates and motivates each company. And I think that this would push Zipline and push myself with my business to innovate further. And at the end of the day, we're saving lives. So that's one of the main benefits. But there's still a massive problem in developing countries and continents like Africa. UNICEF and the United Nations still constantly report things like malaria and HIV, which is a massive problem for developing, markets and stuff like that. So the biggest thing that Zipline picked up on, and especially that I want to pick up on, is the fact that with a drone network that's successful and a drone network that works, that they can not only drop medicine, they could also drop post. And with post, you have enterprise, and enterprise, you have stability. So some of these countries that are war torn and not seeing, an economy that works, that they could benefit from this. So basically, that's what I would like to tap into, and that's what I want my company to be based around as well. But also go a step further. I mean, there's so many things that autonomous drones can do when they fly above. They can do.
Got one more minute.
They can do pest. Oh, okay, yeah. They can do so much more. So they can drop things like pesticides and fight obviously the things about malaria and stuff like that. And also, just to finish up on it, it's probably the best time to set up a drone business, especially with COVID. The UK government set aside a lot of investment opportunities for this. And that's something that I would like to get heavily involved in. And I'm really looking for you guys for your support and any input, really. So that's what I'd just like to finish up on. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jack. How can our community contact you? Do you have a page, a web page, or LinkedIn, or?
Yeah, I have a LinkedIn profile which I keep up to date in. I also have my partners on there that share stuff with me as well. So sometimes it's not all just me. It's my Leonardo and teams as well that post on my page as well. And then also I have my email. I'm looking to create a website by the end of this month. I'm filming footage and stuff for that, so I'm happy to launch that and hopefully post it with you guys as well.
Okay, I invite you after the questions to drop your email for people to contact you.
Yeah,
so, and the following questions I would like to ask you are: so, what made you focus on trying to solve medical issues?
I think it's just really by mistake. I mean, obviously in a product design and stuff like that, you're constantly looking at technology fields. I'm constantly researching companies like, you know, Tesla and companies that want to change, and companies that want to change that not be profit driven, and you somehow help the, you know, the world that we live in. And I think, you know, companies like Zipline are just like that. So that's sort of.
Okay, I also would like to ask the audience to ask questions, and let me see if there is a question here. I'm not sure if this one from Pedro is directed to you or not, but I will ask people to direct to Jack. Meanwhile, I ask you, how can the tribe help you? How what are you would like us as a community could offer to your projects? What kind of skilled people? What kind of tools? And
yeah,
everything?
so being on my own, like I previously said, I am struggling, and I'm struggling just because I've got so many things to do, and obviously I have to study as well, and I spend most of my days just sending emails, which is annoying as a designer. I mean, you can probably see behind my room, I'm constantly prototyping and building stuff. What I would like, you know, to particularly help on it is just as a mentor, really, someone that can some format things a bit easier for me, and things like that, really. So yeah.
Okay, and so Pedro actually was asking you a question: is what's your main challenge right now? What do you need to move to the next level?
Yeah, so obviously with COVID, I'm not going to go rambling on about it, but it's hit me hard because I was meant to prototype a flying version by this year, but unfortunately being hit and being stuck at home, I can't do that. Hopefully with things improving, I can go back, but that is the biggest goal this year is to have a flying prototype. And the reason behind that is we can capture a lot of footage, which we build on things like the website, and then try and attract more and more attention, investors, and so on. So
also wheels yes ask what are your main barriers to entry for getting into the drone market? It's a nice question.
Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry.
What are your main barriers to entry for getting into the drone market?
Yeah, so obviously places like Africa and not only Africa really, but developing nations in general, places like Brazil and stuff like that, they're very open to changing infrastructure. For example, in the UK, we have some of the busiest airways, you know, around. Trying to get legislation to change and to get testing is highly difficult. There's a lot of aviation authorities that like to hamper and like to restrict testing. Although there has been testing done in the UK, there's been 2 successful companies that are now able to fly. But compared to the US and other countries, we are quite small when it comes to that sort of thing.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, my dog is around me and wants some attention. And another question, if Nick allow me, because we have other guest. So you mentioned the company that inspire you, and you mentioned some of the similarities between you and them. Are there any key differences? This is a question from Alexandra Murphy.
Yeah, so as I previously mentioned, the company Zipline, they've just signed a contract with Walmart in the last couple of days to deliver not only blood packages and stuff like that. Obviously, now they want to continue into the market that big companies like Amazon and Google are pushing towards in terms of delivering postal packages and on-demand packages. I think I want to stay away from this and direct my company to just delivering ethical products only. I think with companies like that, they can be turned from being morally driven to profit driven. And I think, so many people can start up businesses like that. So why not take investment from companies and just do the right thing and stay away from that, really? So.
Thank you so much, Jack. I don't know if Nick would like to ask any question, or we could go to the next guest.
Yeah, I was just going to say, did you ask the one about Pedro's question about your main challenge right now, or did we do that one? Did you get that one, Jack? Which is, what's your main challenge right now? What do you need to do to move to the next level?
I need to find an office space, really. So I work with Plymouth College of Art, and some of you may know that they have a fab lab there. A fab lab being a place to prototype, 3D printers, all that kind of stuff. And really, I could do with a workspace or a manufacturing facility that I can just work with on my own and just keep things from private eye at the moment. Really, there's a lot of intellectual project that I want to keep myself.
Cool. And I'm going to sneak in another one from Martin. Are drones environmentally friendly?
No, that's a big question. Yeah, I've been asked this one before, and you can say yes and no. A lot of people come to the conclusion that filling up the skies is bad. It can be damaging to the environment, but battery technology is forever improving. We can run drones on battery power for long lengths of time. In terms of actually putting emissions out into the environment, you can say that's becoming more and more efficient and more environmentally friendly. I think you have to take a pinch of salt with drones and stuff like that. If it was saving someone's life or potentially giving someone the opportunity of life, I think like wind turbines, we've just accepted them, haven't we, sort of into our environment as a feature, and I think they should be a feature as long as they're responsible.
Great, thank you very much, Jack.
No
that was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Great. And I'm going to, and actually we're going to, Sylvia's going to do the next one as well.
Yes. I'm going to introduce youth. Thank you so much for joining us. I would like you as well to introduce yourself before you start your demo.
Cool. Oh, hello. Thanks for having me. My name's Hugh. I'm based in Exeter at the moment. My background's in sort of theatre more so than business or anything like that. So the way I got into this kind of interest in sort of what I guess I'll talk about with technology and stuff was through producing theatre aimed at visually impaired people. And that led me to create these performances in the dark that were very multi-sensory, had sort of arrays of speakers, and then realizing that this had potential way beyond visual impairment and thinking about sound in communities led me to create a project for Exeter Library that used a directional speaker and different sensors. And I'm sort of highlighting that project because this was the point at which I kind of think I moved away from theatre and into technology and kind of ended up here. But the idea of sort of storytelling is something that I still try and keep in all my projects. So I guess that's my intro.
Thank you. So please feel free to start your demo. And
cool.
Good luck.
Thank you. So 100 million years ago, before video calls, standing desks, the news, human fear, and humans all together, when the moon was a few miles closer and the continents were a little bit closer together and the oceans were a little bit shallower, lived a tiny plankton that enjoyed bathing in the shallows of the great salty oceans, converting light, carbon, and water into glucose. It was a simple life and a short one. The plankton, along with trillions and trillions of other microorganisms bathing in the sea, floated to the bottom, spending millions of years under the increasing weight of sediment and rock. And it was dark. And there was all sorts of interesting animals floating about. And then we dug it all up as oil. And with this oil was a new age for the planet. We burn the oil to release these prehistoric calories, and we make plastics with it too. And in these ancient oceans, the descendants of these microorganisms swim with some of these plastics. So I think when it comes to talking about the problems that we face with the environment, it helps to kind of, for me at least, see the bigger picture in order to kind of find the energy and the inspiration, and see it as this kind of epic tale that we're part of, rather than just an incredibly depressing, harrowing set of problems. So as sort of strange creatures with opposable thumbs who've somehow ended up in an extremely serious mess, it maybe helps to remember that the ingenuity we exercise to end up in this very serious mess might get us out of it. And that's how I think we need to teach kids about the future, their future, and their place in it. So in short, I think that the story of climate change and of the kind of degradation of the earth needs re-enchanting. So I'm looking to create educational resources for young people to embed thinking around sustainability into different subjects that they'll be encountering in their education, from design to geography. And the first project I'm seeking to deliver, which is at a very early stage, is a litter picker made out of recycled plastic. That's delivered along with a kind of a story in the form of a book or a presentation or an audio piece that turns this not just from a kind of an object that's a bit useful for picking litter up, but really tries to make people feel like this is actually part of a story. This is something which is got this immense history. All the atoms and the molecules have kind of been around forever, and they can be reused in sustainable ways. It would be a kind of hackable thing. So from the design point of view, people can, this is 3D printed. It will be CNC cut when it's the next stage of prototyping, and obviously a lot longer. But people can build it themselves. It's hackable. The idea is that these young people can exercise creativity on it, and kind of realize the potential they have to actually make stuff that helps, rather than stare in despair at all the screens. So this is basically the idea. It would be to get these into schools, into places with young people, get them excited rather than just despairing about the problems we face, and whether they're interested in geography, engineering, 3D design, storytelling, help them realize that they can be part of a solution. So that's my pitch. Thank you for listening.
Very good, very well. Thank you so much. I want to ask you, firstly, what caused you to think about this project?
Cool. So I think, as I said, about suddenly tipping from being, I think, a theatre person to someone interested in technology with a directional speaker. I spent quite a lot of time at a place called Collider in Exeter, which is a kind of studio for people working in technology and the arts. And I suddenly kind of had this moment of realization that there's so much tech out there, and it's all quite affordable. And I became really fascinated by a 3D printer someone had. And I just watched it for hours and hours making these things, and started to think, what's the potential here? And then I started to think about the kind of responsibility that comes with this kind of technology, and the fact that this is using, although it's PLA is not exactly plastic, kind of got me thinking very much about plastic, how we manufacture it, where it comes from. So I thought, if I was going to make anything out of recycled plastic, what would I make? And then a litter picker felt like one of the most obvious things, along with potentially a bin, or an object which is as close to the point at which plastic becomes waste. If that can be made plastic first, I just thought that made the most sense. So it's quite a utilitarian thought process. Yes, I think that's how I ended up with the idea.
Very good. And what is your target market?
So to begin with, I mean, eventually I wouldn't like to limit it too much, but to begin with, especially from the sort of storytelling point of view, and making it sort of feel like it resonates with a certain group of people, I think young people, yeah, so people potentially doing national citizen service, scouts, different school groups, things like this. Obviously, schools don't have a lot of money, so it would need to be, I think, something subsidized, potentially extracurricular, potentially involved in the curriculum, but something where the incentive isn't just about going out and picking some litter and learning about how bad this stuff is, but the incentive is to sort of hack it. So it could come with the STL files. People could design their own claws, try and make more efficient ones for rivers, one for hedgerows, one for beaches, and then hopefully from here start to think, okay, if we can make this out of recycled plastic, what's next? So it could potentially be more of a co-created project in the long run, where potentially a lot of the young people who get involved in the early stages, in the true spirit of kind of getting them involved, might actually decide what the next item is.
Thank you. And another question from Pedro. He says, how do you plan to recruit schools for your project?
Yes, that's a really good question. So I think initially it would be about finding subsidy to create sample packs, doing sort of demo groups, and sort of, yeah, making it free at the point of access, and then inviting schools to say if they're interested. That's a really big part of what I'm thinking about now. I think it was today actually that I finally figured out how this works. It's cogs the whole time. I hadn't thought about cogs, and now that I've kind of got that creative hurdle out the way, yeah, the money side is what I'm focusing on now. So I think it will be about subsidizing initially, at least, free products for schools.
Okay, and the other question is, how are you sourcing the recycled plastics?
So it's actually amazingly simple. You can buy online. There's a website that just sells enormous, great big sheets of different thickness plastic that cover the same sizes of that wood sheets do. And the really nice thing about their plastics is they're labeled what type of plastic it is. So with this, for example, the pieces come apart. So if something breaks or if someone just gets bored of it, they can just recycle it again. And each piece will have engraved onto it the type of plastic it is, so it can go straight back into the circular economy. But yeah, basically there's a website that sells big sheets of the stuff that can be CNC routed.
Well, thank you. And how can the Canopy community can help you? How can the tribe can help you?
That's a really cool question. I think, well, initially, the first thing that comes into my head is once I've actually made some of these. So Richard, in the audience somewhere, he's got a CNC machine that I'll be able to use to basically make the prototypes. And once they're done, I'll be aiming to kind of have a test run with it with people just to see about the ergonomics, but potentially I'll record some very early stage of the story that comes with it, that would be used at schools, and it can be an audio thing. So if people are interested in I'll put my email in the chat. If people would like, I can post them out and people can listen to the audio while they do a litter pick and just give me a sense of how they felt the sort of texture of the experience was. That would be one thing. Obviously funding is always another one, but I guess that goes without saying.
Yeah. Can I jump in? I've got another, actually it's probably a suggestion from the audience. Have you thought about maybe using that running it as a team building for employees and employees to help engage them and help communities as an alternative to schools?
That's really interesting. No, not quite. I think schools were in my head from the sort of point of view of enchanting the story, and actually the reason why I started to get more specific about young people is because I was chatting to a friend of mine, or someone I know who works in a similar field, and it turns out there's a very big company that makes kayaks and bins out of recycled plastic who are just about to do a litter picker. So I thought, I'll go niche. But actually, I'd not thought about the fact that the niche doesn't necessarily lie in age, but lies in application. So yeah, corporate team building and stuff like that that's a really interesting idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hugh. We're gonna make sure you drop your details in the chat so people can get
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks again.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yes.
And good luck. See you soon.
Hello. And Cami, can you hear us? You were hearing me, is it okay? Cami? Strange. Hello, Cami. Okay.
She was a few minutes ago.
Yeah, she was there. Maybe I'll remove her and just re-invite her. Just bear with me a sec. Sorry, folks. I just got to find Cami again. Cool, looks like she's accepted. That's good. Hopefully she'll be on the screen again. Cami.
Hi, sorry, I have a bad connection, I think, at this
You
time.
you disappeared, but you're back with us, which is great. So, well, thank you very much, Cam. This is Cami Massou from Brest in France. Before we get into your demo, perhaps you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into it.
Yes, of course. I'm Camille. I'm from Brest in France, and I've joined the first edition of the AYCH project. That was in last year, January. And I've been able to come to Plymouth in residency just before the pandemic situation. So I had the opportunity to exchange on my project already from a different point of view and foreign point of views.
Nick, I think we cannot hear you.
Do my favorite talking to the muted. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Cami, we can't quite see you, so hopefully you'll come back in so we can see you, but I think we can hear you. So if you want to start your demo, that'd be great.
Okay. So
thank you.
My project is basically how to use second-hand fabrics and make something new with it. I mainly worked on hair accessories like scrunchies, headbands, and a lot of things that I can do all by myself. And I work on circular economy and local economy. I try to find really close, how do you say, source of fabrics, and have different partnerships in Brest. And sometimes it's also people
Cami,
who just want to.
Cami,
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Could you speak a bit louder, because I think some of the audience can't quite hear you.
I will try.
Thank you.
So yes, so sometimes it's just people who just want to. They don't want their jeans anymore, so they give them to me, and I make new things with it. I already have some point of sales in different places in France, one in Paris, another in Toulouse, and others are mainly around my land. And I also have a website. For the moment, you can only buy from France, but I have a project to expand it for foreign customers.
Lovely. Okay, so that's good. So, so you mentioned you've got an online store. You've got quite a lot of. I've looked on your online store. There's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of products. So, are you doing that all yourself, or
Yes.
have you got other people working with you? Wow.
It's
So,
just I've started with caps, 5-panel caps, but it was really difficult because I had to give the production to a store in my city, and I just stop it, and it's just prototypes that you can find on the website. But all the other products I made all by myself.
gosh, how do you have time for anything else?
I try to expand another activity, which is illustrations that you can find on postcards and mainly on postcards for the moment. But I would like to find maybe company who have a project and just draw for them.
Sure. So, Renee, is that Renee? Is that what it's called, isn't it?
Yes.
Renee. So what are your kind of ambitions for it? What do you want it to be when it's grown up?
I don't want to have a big company around this project, because I want it small and keep on working on it by myself, or maybe with another person.
Right.
But I just would like to find ways to sell or to reach different targets that I have now.
Right. And how could we help you here today? Is there anything that you'd like from us?
Yeah, to have to grow my community on social media, I think.
Okay.
Because it's, for the moment, it's mainly French people that are on social medias. So I would like to expand it to Europeans and more, and exchange on ways of making stuff if someone has similar activities with me, for example.
Cool. And so your Instagram is has that been posted? I'm not sure.
Yes, it is.
Cool. That's all good. No, that's good. I just want to make sure that people are able to do that. I've got a question for you here from Eva. It says, many designers have now started producing face masks. Have you thought about doing that yourself?
Sorry, can you speak slower?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Many designers have started producing face masks. Have you thought about doing that yourself?
I had some opportunities to do it, but I was not. It's not something that I really like to do, and that's why I have chosen to make hair accessories, because I can wear by myself. But it's really something that I think can be cool in fashion, in the fashion world. So no face masks for me.
No, fair enough. Okay. So make sure you jump onto Camille's Instagram, and she's got a Facebook account as well. So and another question for you from Pedro. In order to scale, do you plan to outsource any of the production, or maybe even franchise it to a social? He's suggesting a social impact-driven team.
Yes, it's a good question. I don't really know. I had a project, maybe work with people who have disabilities to help me to produce it, but it can be possible on a local way. But franchise it, I don't know. For the moment, it's too small to tell, but why not? I am open to opportunities.
And you're working in France. Are you looking to go internationally with your products?
To sell internationally, yes, but I would like to produce only in France. Or if I have partners who can do the same thing with that I do by myself, why not to build a project on that?
Fantastic. Lovely. If there's any more questions for Camille, bang them in straight now. It looks like we're done. Lovely. Thank you so much, Camille. That's really appreciate it. And we're at the end of demo night. So thank you to everyone tonight. Thank you to Camille, Pablo, Nanda, Jack, and Hugh. Thank you to you, the audience, who've been given some really good questions tonight. And I think it's given our everybody a good food for thought and some ideas. And thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you, Nick.
Co-hosting. And just to say that our next Canopy demo night for the Southwest is on the 20th of October. So please stick that in your diary. And,
it's my birthday.
Oh, what can we say? Perfect.
Yes.
So thanks everyone again, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. See you next time.